Let's talk about life as a woman who has a van camper. And if you've ever wondered, like, do people look at you funny when you're in a van, or how do people react when they find out you're doing van life? I just want to talk about that for just a minute, because it is a question that people have stopped me on the street to ask. I got stopped at the Cracker Barrel. I got stopped coming out of a hotel. I was overnight there one day. It was storming really bad. I had a guy that gave me a hard time, and those instances where you get a hard time or have somebody look at you is really very, very rare. I've only ever had one person really give me a hard time about it, and I was on the way to Alaska, myself and my service dog, and this guy started talking to me, and he was like, "Are you going by yourself?" And I'm like, because we were on the other side of the country, and I have plates that are not from the east instead of the west. And he was like, we were talking about where we were going and both of us traveling, and he had first asked if I had really driven across the country, looking at the plates on the vehicle. And I was like, yeah. I said, I'm on my way up to Alaska and whatnot. And we were talking. That was all cool. He was all really interested about that, had wanted to drive it himself. And then he said, well, I'll let you get back to it and back to your husband. I'm sure he's going to be anxious to get back on the road and stuff. And I'm like, oh no. I said, I'm doing this by myself, but it's been good talking to you. Have a good trip. And he was like, what? And that's when he kind of went off on me. And I was like, you don't have the right to go off on me. You don't have the right to dictate my life. But for the most time, being a woman and having a van camper, even though we were in the middle of reformulating my van, because during 2020, we bought the RV so my husband and I could travel together a little bit more comfortably. And we are working on getting a service dog again, and I can't really travel by myself until I get the service dog. So we are taking that opportunity and we are redoing it, and it's going to look fabulous when we're done. But anyway, what do people say about me being in a van? People just didn't know what to think. We had some folks who were very well intentioned, but they just had not ever considered being in a van, except for the saying about, you're going to live in a van down by the river. I think we've all heard that. But they were just kind of confused. Somebody thought, it was really weird, and I'm like, that just suits my personality right there. But then later, the people that we met, they were intrigued, because the first thing we did was we went to Mississippi with a mission trip, and we went to Montana with another mission trip. And because we had the van camper, I could haul everybody's stuff. That helped. That really helped. But then when people found out about all the places that we could go, like Alaska, out west, out to New Mexico, all those places that we've been, then you could see the wheels start turning. And we've actually influenced a couple of people to start looking at Class B RVs, at van campers, and at RVs, which is really pretty cool. Because having a van camper, you can go anywhere. There are places where you can't take a big rig. There has been some kind of snobbish attitude. The people who have the really big Class A vehicles do look down on you. The thing is, somebody's going to look down on you no matter what. So it's like, who cares? All of our friends, we pretty much won them over, because they're like, oh my gosh, you drove to Alaska and you did it in a van. Their wheels start turning, because I pointed out to one of my friends, we've been able to take these mission supplies. If we hadn't had the van, that wouldn't have been possible. So would you rather trade staying at home and going only in a limited area, or investing in a van and then going to see the country? They were like, oh, I never thought about it like that. Opinions change. I haven't had anybody stare at me. When I went to a campground once, there were a couple of comments from people who were driving by, like on their golf carts or walking by. I just laughed and I said, hey, how are y'all? Hope you're having a good day. as far as being a woman on the road, if you're in a van, let's say there's a bear or the weather gets super bad. If you're in a van and if something comes up, you just get in the front seat and drive away. You're done. You're out of there. I like that aspect of it because I feel like it's safer. Somebody asked, well, what about Alaska Highway? There's bears around. And I'm like, which would you rather do? Take a chance that there might be a bear outside or walking across a parking garage going out to your car after work. This whole thing has been and is an amazing journey. But as far as being in the van, there's your answers as far as do people look at you weird. Reality is people are going to find something to make fun of you about. When I was in school, I'm part Italian. I have jet black hair. That was the thing I got picked on at school. Keep everything in perspective and just relax and enjoy it. So if you have any other questions about van life or traveling as a solo female, I want you to drop those in the comments below. And it's a little different video than what I've been doing lately, but I was asked that yet again yesterday, so I thought I'd stick it out there. So, and remember, the thing about the van is we're always about this hashtag, be bodacious on my channel. I'm holding up my shirt, I don't know, right there, the hashtag, be bodacious. And that means you're not going to let life get in the way of living. And that's the same principle about being in a van. Don't let life stop you from what you want to do. Thanks for watching. Make sure you give me a like on the video and help me out with those mean old YouTube algorithms. And I'm going to catch you on the next video. So bye, y'all.